Let's Christ this place.
Center for perfume on Saturnalia. Lady Babylon will never fail ya. They do the makeup, ketchup on bacon, making a fool for the duels. Sympathy for the devil, on the level. If you're coming through, bring the big bag of dope. Cult of the crow, super rhymes, they float. The truth vibrates at a specific frequency. Like a witch I fly, you can see me drifting. Puffin' purple law in the cutty. Cool and easy, napalm in the morning. Fresh rhymes all the time, the Sheik of Babylon. Horse riding, the swordsman.
Welcome back to Lady Babylon. Oh, this is more Christing. Some more Christing, people. What do you say when that person comes to you and they say, I want to take you into the back alley? And I am an expert in this language. What do you tell them, people? What's the word that you tell them? Christing. What is a Christ? And people, I have given you hundreds of examples of Christs. My God, you pull that thing out. Next time they do, you pull it out. Do you understand? Give it to them. We're arming ourselves to stay out of the back alley. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Authority, people. Don't let authority people come frighten you with authority. I'm the grand poobah of hoo-ha. And this is what I say. What do you say? You say, what is a Christ? What is a Christ, people? What is a Christ? Now, I'm going to tell you very shortly some beautiful, wonderful things. I want to tell you some gorgeousness tonight. But we're going to have to jump right in the pool. Now, people, before we do, though, I want anybody who's squeamish a little bit, anybody who has a problem with bodily fluids, compose yourself, right? Sit in class, watch what everybody else is doing. If you have to look down for a minute during this process, go ahead and feel completely free to do so. Fantastic. What am I going to do tonight? Tonight, I want to bring you back the Scythian ladies. Where are they? Did you bring the Scythian ladies here tonight? Let's put up a couple of pictures first, people. I want you to realize that what we are talking about is coming right from the language. Right from the language. I talked to a documentarian today about the language and what is the science that helps us to understand, to translate. How do we translate? How do we get to that point? Right? It's a science. It's not a game. It's a science. Right? Fantastic. Fantastic. That's how we know what we know. And now you know about Christing. Christing, people. It's open up on that. What is a Christ, right? And they will tell you a Christ is the anointed one. And when they do, your next question should be, can I Christ a 10-year-old's nutsack in order to stop his dirty dreams? Because that's what the texts say. A 10-year-old's testicles. Can I Christ them? Christ away. Christ away. We have Timmy's Christing. We know it. It's here, people. It's here. Don't let people fool you. You've seen those texts. Oh my God. I'm going to show you another one right from mainstream Aristotle tonight, right now. This is from his corpus, right? Who knows? Its style is vastly different from, say, the metaphysics. So, and Aristotle's full of note takers. That's what people used to think. Why does his style suck so bad? Because they're notes, bro. Right? They're notes from his students, a lot of them. Here is some Aristotle. I you know what? I want to jump right into it because we've got some creepy good stuff. Pull that up. The first one. Thank you, Chewy. Beautiful job tonight. I'll try not to bump the table. Right? Oh God. People, we start here. Go down a little bit, Chewy. Yeah, there we go. 845A there. Facito scusi con pharmacon. Oh God. You brought me drugs right away. You brought me drugs right here. This is a Scythian drug I'm interested in tonight that people are talking about. And what do? They use it to apobaptize their arrows. Do you understand? Apobaptize their arrows. They're going to baptize their arrows. Why would they do that, people? Why would they do that? Right? This is not something unknown from antiquity. Right? When I tell you that baptizing is a term that involves the use of drugs, psychotropic drugs, don't be surprised. If you can look directly in the medical and see it right there. This isn't medical, it's Aristotle, right? Aristotelian, I should say. Oh, it's gorgeous, people. You love it. Let's go back to Aristotle because I want to see. I want to see who these people are. What are these? What is this drug composed of? Look at the second line. Suntithestai ex echidnes. This thing is composed from the echidna, from the viper. That's the one. Let me tell you why, people. You're going to fall in love with this. It says, look, the Scythians, they guard this stuff, right? This knowledge, they guard it. And what do? They love these zootokusas. What? The what? Those live birth serpents. They love them and they take them and they domesticate them. Do you understand? Show us, Chewy. Show us. What kind of snake does that? Gives live birth. Now, for those of you who are in over your head, because this is some biology you never learned, right? What is Aristotle so nerdy and talking about? He's talking about the viper, baby. He's talking about the viper. Fantastic. The Scythians are using the viper. And you say, oh my God, how can they be doing this? Don't think a bit. Right? Who do you think develops their immunity, people? Right? Oh God, you're raised with them. You're raised with them. You are curators of their toxins, people. This is the people we're talking about. This is anthropology. This is not theology. This is not somebody who is horrified to know that there is something called shit Christing. I'm horrified. Amen horrifies me. Yes, I should, because your entire system of bullshit is about to fall. And you're watching it, and there's nothing you can do. Nothing. Fantastic. I love it, people. Let's go back to Aristotle. Hello, Satanic Congregation, by the way. I'm trying not to get too close. Oh, the greatest story never told. Fantastic. I'm not quite sure what that's with reference to, but fantastic. Look, they're just probably having a side conversation. They're like, what the hell, man? Okay, look, people. What do? They domesticate these vipers. And when it comes time for everything to go septic, what do? They take the blood of a person and pour it into a little jar, and then they cap it and bury it in poop. Bury it in poop. Oh, God. Why? Why is this the... What are we doing, people? Okay, now, wait a minute. If you didn't know the science of what's going on, you're going to not be able to appreciate why they're doing this. Remember, this is their bow poison. This is their toxicon. Do you understand? So how do we start? We start with human blood. This is my blood, my salvation. I am telling you the gospel. It is through her blood. Do you understand the echidnaic mystery? The power is in the blood. Now, let's keep seeing it. But Aristotle, or Aristotle's whatever, proxy, whatever. Let's see what he says here. Open it up, Joey. Fantastic. So you pour out this blood into this little jar and bury it in the poop, right? And when it's done, what are you going to do? You're going to take the very top layer of the blood, right? Which is, looks like water, baby. It's like watery. And you're going to mix it with what? With the ichor of the echidna. Do you understand me? And what does this do at the bottom, the very last expression? Poiusi thanasimon. They make the death inducer. This is how they make it, the death inducer. Do you understand? What do you want on your arrows, baby, if you are a Scythian? You want the death inducer. Okay? Death inducer. Now, remember, they've got the theriacs, right? The different combinations, compound drugs that are used to avert the effects of the death inducer. That is the gelene. That is the calm. The calm, right? As in the calm after the storm. Fantastic. Now, I know it sounds very, very sophisticated, and that was what I was trying to explain to this documentarian. This type of pharmacy is baked into the medicine from the earliest documents we've got. The fact that you can turn a human being into a vessel of communion is not an oddity. This is their polypharmacy. You don't want to make a person better. You want to make that person the receptacle and dispensary of life. It's a far, far higher calling. And this is what the oracular tradition is all about. So back to the literal Greek. Just look at a couple of words here, people. Let's just roll around in this Greek a little bit before we abandon it. Look down here at these Scythians, right, with their ichor. Now, where's the lexicon? It's not a dictionary. Punch me in the face if it's psychologically punch me in the face. No, that's not it. No, I'll have to do this. Let's do this. Boom. And then boom. And then ichor. What is ichor, people? Look at this. This is what you mix the serum with, the blood serum, right? You take the human blood, you put it in the ground, you let it putrefy, is how they referred to it. You let it putrefy. And we're going to look at the putrefaction in a second, right? But then you combine the serous part of what's in your jar with the juice of the echidna. Now, interestingly enough, if you look at number 2, right here, it can be juice, not blood, or it can be blood, right? Okay, thanks. These guys are like, hedging your bets a little bit, gents, right? The watery part of animal juices, particularly the serum, you notice that? And it gives you the reference of Galen, right? The serum of the blood. And you get Hippocrates. Well, that goes way back, right? But you also get Aristotle. So it's very likely that, okay, this is how this is working. We're talking about some kind of serous portion of some other fluid. But if we go down here to the bottom, I want you to look at this word, people, right here in blue, right? What What is naphtha? What is naphtha? Is there any reason that this echidnaic process, is there any reason that there should be flames involved? Because the naphtha is that very production of the medewanasa, the medewa, or the medea. It's her production. She's the one who made it. They know that all the way down to the Byzantine soda, right? Okay, Medea's fire. Medea's fire. Is Medea's fire in this thing? Is Medea's fire? You're going to see it work, people. You're going to see. I've brought an example for you tonight how the fire works, how it burns, right? How can you burn? Remember what John the prophet does, who is battling the echidnaic priesthood? What is he doing? His hands are burning. His hands are burning, but they aren't consumed. They're on fire, but he's not burning. Look, hands on fire, not burning. Do you understand? Okay, now, that's not just a parlor trick. That's an advanced chemistry going on there, right? Oh, God, these people ought to get an award, right? It's fantastic. Put them back on the drugs. It makes them smarter, Chewy. You know what I mean? They do all this art. Oh my God, under the influence, I'm gonna have to spank someone. Let's do it. I can sense it. I can sense you. Somebody out there needs a spanking. It'll come up. It'll come up. Okay. Now, Chewy, give me one more source. Give me one more source. That same one, Aristotle. Same Aristotle. Bring it up. And I want people to look at another word. I want people to look at another word here. This very last word that's at the bottom, you may not be able to see it. Yeah, there we go. There's the half, the end of it, right? Thanasimon. Nasimon. What is the thanasimon? That is a specific class of drugs meant to induce a death state. A death state. Now, if you do it the wrong way, there's no way to uninduce this. If you don't have the right antidote, then you're screwed. So don't get involved if you haven't been to school. Do you understand? It's dangerous, dangerous stuff. Go to your priest and he'll tell you what to do, right? And when she comes out, do exactly what he told you to do. Fantastic. Do you understand? Why are the oracles doing what they're doing? They're guiding society, people. Ask an oracle to what she thinks about genocide, right? What should happen? What should happen to the perpetuators and financiers of genocide? What should happen? Just think in just terms. What should happen? I don't think they should prosper. I don't think they should prosper. Fantastic. That's echidnaic, right? You're recognizing that power, right? That power to bring the guilt of the blood to reckon, to everyone's reckoning who's guilty. Oh, God, I love that. That stuff burns, baby. Oh, it burns. Give me the next source. People, I want you to see the naphtha is actually there. Yes, that one's fine, Chewy. The naphtha is actually there. This is Heracles. Who is Heracles? Well, you call him Hercules. And you think he was a big, strong guy who went around and, had a big heart and did nice things for people. That is absolutely the opposite of who Heracles was. Heracles was one of the biggest junkies on the planet who went from place to place, causing havoc, especially with the ladies. And he had a church on the side, Heracles did. And that church was full of children disciples. And he put those children disciples through rites. And the only person who was able to see those rites, who was not a child or Heracles, was the Echidna. Medewanasa Musa. Do you understand? That one woman. Why? Because she was the vessel. She was the vessel for the communion. Right? She was the vessel for the communion. Now, Mattia is working on what? She's working on that quantum flame. That quantum flame. She takes the quantum flame and fixes it, adds it to the pharmacon. Do you understand? Oh, God. It's, I don't know what to call it, genius or just divine intellect. Right? How the hell? I can't tie my shoes. Do you understand? Oh, God. Brilliance. It's fantastic. It makes me feel so inspired. It's gorgeous. People, take a look. Bring back Heracles. So here's Heracles. Boom. What's he done? Oh, God. Okay, it turns out one of the pederasts was hitting on his wife. There was a thing that went down. Heracles shoots an arrow because he's the master of that poison bow. He's the master of it. Are you kidding? Do you know what he loads that thing with? Venom. People, venom. Now, go ahead and leave that up. But before we get to what happens to Heracles and the complex pharmacology, yes, this is the pederast and his wife, right? Okay, look what he's doing. Get out of here, right? Get out of here, pederast. Everybody, satanic congregation, spank the pederasts. Now, of course, I use the term pederast because that is a translation of centaur. And you sit there and you think, you watch movies and they put a dude who's got part of the body of a human and a big horse's butt coming off the end. And you think, no, the joke's on you people. They call them centaurs because their private parts are the size of horses and they are private tutors for the boys. You people, you're stoned on fairy tale, man. Fairy tale. Oh, God. I'm going to expect people to go outside and look for Jesus. One of those fucking clouds, right? Oh my God. All right, here we go, people. Let's get back to reality. Bring me up Heracles. What does this guy do? Well, oh, by the way, people, he's a son of God. Okay? Jesus is not the first person walking around saying, son of God, son of God. No, he's quoting Greek. And here's one of his compadres, Heracles, who's also a son of God. And I just want you to see in the blue, Hod Heracles endus ton kechrimenon hitona. What is Heracles doing? He's putting on his Christed shirt. His Christed shirt. You remember when that woman touched Jesus and he's like, who touched me? I know somebody touched me and they got some. Right? And you're like, oh, it was the glory. It was the glory of the Lord seeping through his gown. Theology crap-rama. No, people. Do you know the Magi Christ their clothing with drugs? Physiologically active drugs. And you say, well, that's odd. I don't do that. I don't do that at all. Well, that's because you are not anything but a mere reflection of these original monists. Oh, God. Oh, God. It's gorgeous. People, you show them and they're like, huh? Just bring it back up, people. right? What is a Christ, people? You know Greek? You think you know Greek? What is a Christ? You're not going to fool anybody here at Satanic Congregation. You're not. You're not. Fantastic, right? Here's the more Christing in the passage before, people, right? You see it. Fantastic. But the poison starts to work. What kind of poison is it? I wish we could outline this. It's right here, Chewy. Just do that. There we go. People, look in the middle of your screen. Look in the middle of your screen. There you go, Chewy. Underline it. Septiku. Septiku. Pharmaku. Pharmaku. What kind of drugs are these? These are septic drugs. Septic drugs. Drugs of putrefaction. Do you understand? Now you know why we bury it in shit, dummy. Shout out to everything that makes sense. Christ me. Christ me. Do you understand? Christ me. What is a Christ? Oh, God, give me back. People, what is a septic drug? Well, there's something. Okay, I'm giving it to you like they had it. Go ahead, make me big. And you can bring pictures if you have any. I'm giving it to you like they had it. There is something called the sapes. That is a serpent that when it bites you, it causes the progressive destruction of your tissue. It brings putrefaction to your system. Do you understand? Do you understand? Do you understand the power of putrefaction? Show me the snake. I need the oh God, I did it again. Lexicon. Somebody mentally spank me, right? Somewhere where it hurts, because I need that mentally right now. Give me the lexicon. Yes, here we go. People, okay, they don't see me, but we'll get it. We'll get them here. Fantastic. People, what is this? Okay, fantastic. Oh, you guys are going to love this. Are you ready? What is that serpent? The sapes. The one that causes that putrefying sore. Is this our word for sepsis? Of course it is, right? Because we can't generate our own, right? Our language sucks, bruh. So what do? We borrow from this self-aware language. Wait, what a minute. Wait a minute. Ancient Greek is self-aware. Yes, ancient Greek is self-aware. You don't need outside help to create terms. In other words, the novelty comes from the language, the mechanics of the language itself. Mother Greek is self-aware. Oh, God. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, if you don't believe me, ask some Roman authors who wrote in Latin, who said in their writings of Latin, grammarians, for example, said, you can't pair, you can't match the Greek, right? Don't even try. It's embarrassing. We've got people who are authors writing in Latin, apologizing for writing in Latin instead of Greek, because the Latin really can't convey what the Greek conveys. Okay, people, Lucretius, check it out. Check it out, right? Fantastic. Give me back the text. Go to the next one. Go to the next one. Yes, putrefying sore, people, or go back to the one that we were just on. Let me make sure that, yeah. So what is your septic drug doing? Well, it's right in the middle of this thing. This shirt that Herrick of was tainted, was poisoned, was Christed. Are you? The shirt was, are you Christed? Oh, God, I hope somebody didn't Christ you like that little boy. Right? I hope they didn't. I hope they didn't. You know, people, honestly, Jesus gets arrested in a public park with a naked kid who's got a bandage on his hoo-ha. right? And nobody questions the whole time. Please, why? Oh my God. It's the perfect timing for the way more than obvious. Oh God. Future historians are like, what was it, right? Woo, were you under the charm? Were you under the charm? People, and let me put to bed one more thing. I'm just going to put it to bed now. People are writing about it. The Hebrew must be the original of Septuagint. It can't be the Greek, like ominous saying. And they give all sorts of bullshit. So-and-so thinks so-and-so, and he's got an idea, the blah, hoo-ha. No, just do the math. You cannot cram. You cannot cram tens, hundreds of thousands into 7,000. You can't. And yet somehow they magically do. It's because the original Greek has a diversity that the Hebrew language cannot replicate. And so instead of their poets saying, hey, sorry, we can't reach the Greek, we'll try to represent this. No, they made up a lie and said, this is the original. Here it is. Look, you see him. We caught him red-handed sitting in the desert, writing out translations of Greek into a language that only had a 7,000 word capacity. Mathematically, that is ludicrous. Your story is unscientific. Maybe these authors are right. Maybe the Judeans are like the Ophites or like the Sumerians. Maybe they're all parts of the same mystery cult. Maybe that's the origin. Maybe that's why they're fighting the Echidnae, because they are the reliable, real priesthood of the mystery. And if you can't take them out, you can't reassert. You can't take that power out. If you don't become the oracle, forget about it. You're done. John must die. John must die. What is he known to be? He's known to be the destroyer of the Echidnae. Do you understand? People, it's really amazing that just from one language's vapors, you can see the real. The real. You don't have to buy the story anymore. You don't have to end up in the alley, in the back alley, right, with the people. Remember, people ask them one thing: what is a Christ thing? And if they come up with this if they use the term Messiah or they talk about an anointing, you tell them, can I Christ the child's testicles who's having naughty dreams to make him stop? Right? And if you want to go further, I know some of you love, and why am I saying this? Because there are texts. I've shown you these texts. People, what about the eunuchs? Why is nobody asking about it? What the hell is a eunuch? And why is it Jesus is walking around saying, blessed are the eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven? Blessed are the eunuchs, baby. When you wrap that source of medicine with a drug around his testicles in order to affect his eunuch way, there's nothing wrong with that. That's the early Christian way. People, I don't understand why this is such a complex situation of figuring out who Jesus actually was. It's in the language. Just go to the language. Give me back to the language. Let's just do a couple here, people. I want to do a couple of these. Look, down here at the bottom, he's talking about tips of those covered with the eos, right? Right now, you have to remember that this eos that he's talking about is the venom or poison toxin of the echidna, right? So that is central. We are using serum, normal human serum, right? Joined with the ichor of the echidna. Bringing those together creates that death-inducing experience. That they also call it putrefaction, which I always find. How would you like to be petrified by a woman who wears vipers? Right? By a woman who wears vipers. I'm serious. I'm serious. If that doesn't scare you and just slightly titillate you, something's wrong. Something's wrong. Do you know what I mean? Right? Oh God, did you bring them? People are like, where do they have the vipers? Right? What is the deal with Medusa? Right? Do you understand what you just said, Medusa, when you did? These are those temple priestesses. There's a reason Athena has a kid with snake. It was part snake. People, do you remember what happened to Heracles when he was a child, right? He wrestled the serpents. Huh. Interesting. Huh. What happened when he grew up? He wrestled the serpents. Whose poison is he using? He's using the pederast's blood mingled with the death inducer. And do you know what happens when you put those two together? Do you understand? You put it on a cloth, and when that all right, it will ignite. It will ignite. And this process is described for us. Right? What does the shirt do to Heracles? It burns him. In what way does it burn him? It physically burns him, scorches him. It's described as burning into his skin. Right? And what else does it do? It burns him in the way that the flame of the echidna burns you. This febrile, intense consumption of your insides. This burning. Oh God. Oh God, am I thirsty? Oh God. What is that guy doing? You know, it's funny. In antiquity, they'd be like, oh, that guy's flying. He's a Christ. He's flying out there, right? Look at him. He's flying. Those people are nuts. And they would have kept walking by. You and I create a fairy tale to perpetuate Sunday mornings and donations to what? To nothing that is real. To nothing that was actual in antiquity. These are not mysteries they're performing. Right? Now you know what Christing is. What is a Christ, people? Any classicist comes to you and says, here, I'm an authority. Ask them, what is a Christ? Where is the oldest Christ that we see? Where do we see? Who's the oldest historical person? Where's the first person we see being a Christ, using Christ? Where is it? All right? People, go. Look for it. In the meantime, tell them to Christ the testicles of children. That's what they need to do, because that's what we see in the text. Why do we see in ancient Greek the Christing of child testicles? Ask them that. These experts, these authorities, they are not authorities. They are not. Fantastic. We take them all down, people, right? It doesn't matter what ivory tower you're standing in, right? Step onto the battlefield and watch what happens. Let's go to the next, right? Let's go. This is the song. No, the next one. The song is kept in the grove of Heracles, right? People, just look at what's in the blue of this Epiphanius. Is this Epiphanius? Yeah, what does he say at the bottom? Right? He says, rubbing this thing, make it big too, I can't see it. So rubbing this thing out, they add water, right? They add water to it and they Christ. Where do they Christ? Epidegmatos. What is that? Those are the places where you have been struck, where you have been pierced, where you have been bitten or stung. Those places are the places you Christ. Do you know why? Because you want to avert, it says, the poison, eon, of the scorpion and the viper. All right, those vipers. That's what you want to do. People, it doesn't take a pagan from antiquity to tell you, look, we are still treating bites and stings by Christing. What do we Christ? We Christ drugs, people, because if you don't have an antidote, they called it an antidote. If you don't have an antidote for the snake venom, you're screwed. There is something in the serum that capacitates the action of the venom. I don't know what it is, but that's what they're using. And the echidna herself, this is a woman. She is the priestess. She is the oracle. She has access to this. It's her blood. Her blood. When she gives you the water of life, that is your gospel of salvation. The efficacy is your salvation. That's the gospel. That's how they use these terms. When Jesus said, now, where's the next guy? Do we have somebody picking up? Look, people, a lot of Bible scholars like to say, oh, wait a minute. Jesus didn't really say you're going to drink the death inducer in the Gospel of Mark, because that part, and pick up snakes, because that part of the gospel is later, and they'll talk about, oh, textual tradition, hoo-ha, boo-ha, right? And you sit there and believe it, and you pay for their courses, and you pay for their books, and you pay for their salaries through your tuition. Do you understand? And what are these people doing? They're selling you a line of crap. Where is he? Where's the guy? Look, people, what do we get? I got you something from the 1st century, right? Within a generation of Jesus. He's this dude. No, it's Papias. Let's go to, nope. There we go. People, this is Papias, right? And he's like between like 60 and 120, somewhere in there, somewhere in that range. And what's he doing? What's he talking about here? Right contemporary with the people who are working with Jesus directly, like Peter. And what does he say? What does he say? Is this guy Barsabbas, right? What is this idiot doing? Pion eon echidnes. He is drinking the venom of the echidna. Right? He's drinking. What is he drinking? He's drinking the communion. Right? He's drinking the communion. This is the processed communion through the priestess, and he's drinking it. And what happens to him? Because he drinks it in the name. Right? What is the name? The name is the power of the magical device. In the name of what? In the name or power of the Christ. That which he is Christing with. This is not a person. That which he is Christing with has the dunamis, just like it said in the text I just showed you. The powers of the septic drugs, the dunamis. That Christ has a power and a gospel, an evangelion or an evangelion. It has that power. Fantastic. Fantastic. It's through the Christ itself, people, that we are penetrating those layers of the first and second and third heaven and so on. Love it. Love it. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Bring it back up. Let's see if we missed anything that I wanted to mention. No, because his Christ is what? His Christ is allowing him to be able to come out apathes, right? Without suffering the effects. And that's a marvelous thing, people. That's one of the thaumata. Why? Because, dude, everybody knows that venom is deadly, is absolutely, undeniably deadly. Fantastic processing of these chemicals. I don't know why they're using serum. One of you molecular biologists tell me why they would use serum. I know it's got all the antibodies and all that stuff. I understand that. I understand. What do you call echidna's ichor? You call it what? What did they call it? The blood of echidna. What did they call it? Yeah. Yeah. It was life. It was life. This is my blood. This is my blood. This is my flesh. If you would ask me, I would give you the ichor. What did they call it? Ambrosia. The life of the gods. Do you know why the ichor of echidna is life? It is what makes us immortal. It is what makes us immortal. Think about that for a minute, people. Think about that. Do you know why they were battling the echidnae? Do you know why the Judeans were? Do you know why the Ophites were trying to defend the seminal communion? Because they chose sides in a war. In a war, people. And who won? Who won? Ultimately won. You can read about it in the ancient texts. You can read about it in the apocryphal texts, right? The Christian mystery won. The form with the children that started with a bunch of naked kids in a public park. That, am I gone? Oh, no, sorry. Oh, Chewy was, did you forget? Did you forget the kids in the park? Right? Did you forget them? Why do we always forget the children in the park? They were with Jesus when he was arrested by the SWAT team. I don't understand. I don't understand why we forget that all the time. Okay, give me one more. I think I've got one more. Nope. Okay, yeah, give me that one. No. Yeah, go ahead. Throw that up, Chewy, just for a second. People, I wanted you to see. This is from last time, but I want you to see there were a couple of women that I didn't point out who were Christs. There were women that were involved in the Christing process. In other words, there were women involved with the drugs and the right, who they considered these Christed and Christing priestesses that were still a part of one of the factions of Christianity. I want you to realize the thing I didn't stress in this is this little word epaoides here. Where are we getting the purple? Remember, this is the passage that showed us the purple. Here's the porphyrion. This is the color of the communion, the mystagogic communion. And I told you this tradition is coming from the epodes. The epodes. I should have stressed this more, people. I can't stress this thing enough. You do not get communion without magic. If the magi are not at work, you do not get communion. Yeah. This is something that is constant. Why? Because it's just a chemical reality. The process of creating this communion comes to us from people who would use sounds to affect people that they had put into death states. Chewy said, is it music? It's not just music. Yes, Circe had the power of the voice. Do you understand? What is that? Is it a comic? Is it a comical thing? Blah. You blurt out and somebody, no, it's not like that. You're not on a stage. No. You have the power to cause somebody to be guided through what you cannot see. Okay? Don't try to understand it. Don't try to understand it. You're going to end up on the receiving end of what this woman has to offer. Okay? Do you understand? There's a place of reverence that you have to go to. Now, there was one very last important, I had one liner in here. Was this the last one, Chewy? No. Did we miss it? No. Oh, damn it. No, it's not. Okay, I'll just talk about it real quick. People, I wanted you to realize, am I there? I wanted you to realize that the dance that Salome did was a dance through the strings. I had a text I was going to bring you that talked about it. No, I think it's it's actually here. I think I did bring it. I think it's this one. Let me just try this, people, because I really want you to see this. I know it comes down to a single word, but it's very important. It wasn't Epiphanius. Here we go. This is a Byzantine source, people, like seventh, I think, 7th to 8th, somewhere in that range. And the Byzantine source is telling us about Herodias and who she was and who her daughter was and what happened to John, right? And in this source, it says, you healed, right? You have healed my pain with your technical lurismati, your technical use of the guitar, right? Your technical use of the guitar. Yeah. Now, we know that as far back as Medea, the first Christ, people said it was her song, not the drugs, that were most important. So apparently, people get this, apparently there is some kind of key in this invisible world to get you beyond the morass of what everybody experiences just by going under. And that key is music that is played into the initiate. This is pre-resurrection, right? Before they bring them back, right? And you say, wait a minute, how do you get drugs into a person who is knocked out? Oh, there's several routes, people, right? Fantastic, right? Absolutely gorgeous. On what? Oh, here, we'll bring that next time. I didn't bring that. Chewy's mad because I didn't bring the joining of Satan with echidna. Right? Fantastic. You'll see it. It's in the text, people. Everything I'm bringing you is just from the text, right? Everything that you're seeing is just from the text. Fantastic. So what kind of picture, just by way of summing, what kind of picture are we getting of this cult? We know that they are advanced in the use of drugs, in the preparation of things like arrow poisons. We know that they're using music to guide vision. We know that they are providing a supposed salvation and rebirth. We know that they boast of medical cures, healing, the casting out of demons, the control of your external environment. And how do we get there? We project you into it. Do you understand? Oh, God. Where are these Scythian priestesses? Where are they? You know, I understand why Heracles was interested in meeting them and mating with them. I completely understand it now. And I understand why the queen said, no, don't stop. That one's mine. That one's mine. And everybody's like, oh, naturally, right? Right? She always gets the good ones. Right? Now, turn him into a eunuch. No, she didn't do that, but she did make him wear ladies' clothing. Right? Why? Can anybody tell me before we leave, Satanic Congregation, why did that Amazonian queen always bring Jesus, Chewy? Why didn't you bring Jesus? People, Chewy didn't bring Jesus. I wanted to end, or I wanted to have Jesus somewhere. But I think what we've done is stir up a bunch of people. You know what I mean? And now they're scrambling to defend themselves. In the meantime, we hold the Bible, people. We hold it high. And we show people everything that they were doing, including the war of the prophets that resulted in the genocide of the children of Echidna. We've seen an entire village destroyed this way. We know how it happens. It's nothing new. When you are an oracle, performing your rites between the ages of 10 and 20. When it is kings and tyrants and potentates who send their ambassadors to you to ask for your approval of war or disapproval. It's you who decides whether there will be genocide. And did you know the oracles, oh God, if they didn't have them, they would have killed everybody. Thank you for the wisdom that comes through this Echidna. Thank you for the priesthood. Thank you for bringing us dawn. This is the power of the chemistry. This is the power of the history. This is the power of Mother Greek. Thank you for coming tonight. Hail Satan.
Drugs in your eyes, drugs on your face, drugs in your hair, drugs to the taste. Golden spirals, mathematics, omnipresence, ionic. There's a reason why people like to get high when the darkness kisses you. Lucifer, bring the light. Medea the sorceress, bartending at the lounge, getting the concoctions right, mixing up something special for you. Tiki bar voodoo, Vampira coming through, making Doritos out of fools. Cora, Nemesis, Explorer.